Hello, folks. Ncaa 31 here, episode 7 of year 1 of this Notre Dame venture. We're on our bye week, so I figure I would do a little bit of a recap and go around the Ncaa a little bit. Got through the gauntlet at 6-0. You see, we're number 2 right now. After the bye week, we have USC, Air Force, Navy, Pitt, another bye week, and then BYU and Stanford to close out the schedule. So far, so good. Dodged some bullets along the way, but hey, we're still unscathed. Current coaches poll, BCS poll is not going to be out for a little while. Bama at number 1, you see here, we're up from 3 to 2. Ohio State drops from 3 to 4. Clemson goes from 2 to 4. So, bit of a shake-up there. Even though we're all undefeated, and Tennessee still undefeated at 6-0. Houston is 4-0. Iowa keeps on rolling along. Michigan, Oklahoma, and Baylor ran out the top 10. LSU with 1 loss. Washington and Stanford. Miami still undefeated at 5-0. BYU's 5-0. TCU still hanging on to the top 25 by a thread. Washington State, Wisconsin are newly ranked. Michigan State still hanging on despite being 2-3. And Nebraska and Northwestern ran out of the top 25. Others receiving votes: Ole Miss, Ole Miss, USF, and Oregon drop out. Western Kentucky, Auburn, Ole Miss, Florida, Texas Tech, and USC receiving votes. Speaking of USC, what's going on with them? USC is 2-2. USC has wins over Hawaii and Boston College, lost to Washington State and ASU in overtime. Well, Washington State in overtime and ASU, they lost pretty handily. Let's take a look at what's going on in the conferences. There's the SEC overall standings, SEC East. You got Tennessee, Mizzou, and Florida. SEC West, the usual suspects there. Pac-12, those are the overall standings there. Pac-12 South, UCLA currently holds a lead in the Pac-12 South, although it's pretty bunched up there between Utah, Colorado, and Arizona State. Pac-12 North, Washington is in control there, up on Stanford, and Washington State's hanging in there. ACC, no surprises there that I can see. Clemson and Florida State, both 3-0 and pretty good control there. That's going to come down to a head-to-head more than likely if it hasn't already. Have they played already? Nope, they play soon. They play next week, actually. That's a big game there. And in the Coastal, you have Miami and Vatech. And Virginia has only played 1 conference game, so they're in there. G-Tech is 2-2 in the conference, 3-2 overall. Big 12 bunched up at the top with K-State and Oklahoma State still in the mix. Big 10. Ohio State 2-0. Penn State and Michigan have not lost in the conference yet either. Iowa and Nebraska 1-2 there. Wisconsin 1-1. Northwestern only played 1 conference game they lost. Who's their loss against? Their losses against Ohio State. Minnesota's 4-2 overall. 0-2 in the conference though. Who've they played? They've had a pretty light schedule. Really light schedule. Got trounced by Iowa and lost to Michigan. American. Look at Rutgers at 4-1 overall and 1-0 in the conference. Memphis and Cincinnati are in the mix there as well. Houston is at number 6 in the country at 4-0. Conference USA, good old Marshall, Florida Atlantic. Marshall's played one conference game and Florida Atlantic has already played 4. My gosh. That's weird. La Tech, Southern Miss. And all these schools are in the mix too. And the Mackey Mac. Bowling Green. It's got all these unbalanced conference games here. Jeez. Western Michigan's 3-3, but 2-0 in the conference. Toledo's 2-1. The Mountain West. Mountain West Mountain 5-0 Wyoming. 1-0 in the conference and 5-1 Nevada, 3-0 in the conference. Good seasons by those two schools too. That's always fun to check out. You got the good old Sun Belt here. Western Kentucky and Troy 2-0, 2-0. Texas State again 1-4, but only one conference game. Heisman watch. Torian Folston takes the lead. Coming off a 4-touchdown performance against Arizona State. You see his stats in the season. He's got 877 yards rushing. He's got 6 yards per carry average and 9 TDs, 146.2 yards per game. So he's the Heisman frontrunner right now. Jalen Hurd, he's number 2. He's got 10 touchdowns, but it actually has a higher yard per carry average, but lower yards per game. Curtis Samuel, wide receiver. Interesting. His receiving stats don't look that great. What else has he done? Must be playing running back. He's got 105 rushing attempts, and he's got 15 receptions. So obviously he's playing running back. And he's got a ton of touchdowns between running back and receiving. Well, he's got, what? 2 touchdowns receiving and 7 touchdowns rushing. That's weird. CJ Beathard, he was their front runner a couple weeks ago. He's knocked down a little bit. 17 touchdown passes, 4 INTs. Got another 3 rushing touchdowns, and he's averaging 4 yards per carry on the ground. And Baker Mayfield makes an appearance. He's got 16 touchdown passes, only 2 INTs. And he's more of a dual threat guy. He's got 284 yards rushing, almost 5 yards per carry, and 2 TDs. So those are the Heisman frontrunners right now. Toughest places to play. Here's something I would love to see make its way into Madden. Playing at these big venues on the road is not easy. In Madden, you don't quite get the feel of being in a really strong home field. There's not as many of them in the NFL, but you do have them. You have Seattle, tough place to play. Kansas City, Arrowhead's always a tough place to play. The Superdome, tough place to play. You do have good home field venues, but in the NFL game, well, not in the NFL game, but in Madden, all home fields are pretty much equal. This game, not the case. Ohio State 12-game home winning streak. Yours truly with an 11-game home winning streak. You see Texas, OU. You see the usual suspects here along the top as far as toughest places to play rankings. I love to see the home field effects of this game implemented in the Madden game, where your guys may miss audibles, miss hot routes, your icons get all discombobulated, and your play arc gets all squiggly. Makes playing on the road a lot harder. Deshaun Kaiser stats, 16 TVs, only 5 INTs, 306 yards per game, playing very well. Here's our 1-2 punch here, the running back position. A little bit of a thunder and lightning action. Josh Adams gets a lot of vulture touchdowns because of his power. Only as true sophomore. I'll probably end up losing Fulton if this keeps on continuing, but Josh Adams' ratings are pretty good if he needs to take over. Got good speed, 95 acceleration. Break tackle is 81. Trucking is 82. Carrying is 85. Torrey Hunter, my receiving unit has not been as explosive as I would like, but they do their job. I mean, Torrey Hunter is a big play guy. He has been for me all season. He's an 84 overall, 92 speed, 80 catching. Route running is kind of meh. Catching traffic is kind of meh. In truth, they're kind of average. Ecomenia St. Brown, only a sophomore, 85 catching. He's 6'4", 82 jumping, 78 catching traffic, 78 spec catch, but I got a couple more years left of him, and those will bone up in due time. CJ Sanders and Corey Holmes doing pretty well. Not really getting much out of the tight end position. Haven't really gone to the tight end very much. James Onwalu. By far my best overall defensive player, and it shows. He makes plays all over the field. He's got 90-something play rec. He's got 94 pursuit, 86 play rec. I thought the play rec and pursuit were reversed, but his play rec is 86 and pursuit is 94, and you see it in the games. He's just everywhere. Always seems to make plays. Awareness is only 79, but doesn't really hurt me that much. I kind of view play rec as being more important in that regard anyway. And his zone coverage is solid. Pass rush is, 80 is good enough for a linebacker, especially when he's blitzing most of the time. What I really want is his speed and acceleration to be on point. And his 88 speed and 85 acceleration fit the bill there. And he just makes plays. Makes tons and tons of plays all over the field. 48 tackles, 15 tackles for a loss, and 5 sacks. My safeties don't really do much. I mean, Drew Tranquil is second in my team in tackles. Playing in a 3-3-5 stack, that's going to be the case for one, if not both of them. But doesn't really make many plays in the passing game. He's just not that good. Only 73 zone coverage, 76 play rec. Tackling is 84. Got good speed, but he's just not much of a playmaker outside of the running game. Tavon Coney hasn't done much at all. 2 of his 3 sacks came in the last game. But he's got some talent to work with. He's 81 overall as a true sophomore, 80 speed and 78 acceleration is kind of meh. His play record is kind of low. His block head's kind of low, so maybe it's a good reason why he's not making that many plays. Better pass rusher than he is in coverage and space, really. But I gotta play someone there, and he's the only one that I have who can play there for the time being. DJ Morgan, true freshman safety, playing free safety again. He's not that great. Zone coverage and play rec certainly have room to grow. He's not really a good tackler. Awareness and play rec are pretty low, but again, I gotta work with what I gotta work with. Niles Morgan has done nothing. Absolutely nothing. His speed and acceleration are pretty low. Play rec is 85. Tackling is 92. Pursuit's 85, but he's just too slow. Zone coverage stinks. He's off the field more often than not in the dime and in the quarters. Actually, he's off the field all the time in dimes and quarters, and he's also off the field, and I think the dollar as well. So he's only playing the 3-3-5 stack sets and the 3-3-5 nickel sets. This roster really screwed him up bad. Isaac Rochelle's been very good. 7 sacks, 14 tackles for a loss. My senior left defensive end will be losing him, but he's a good anchor. 84 strength, 98 tackling, 86 power move, 85 block head, good enough. And he plays pretty well. Avery Sebastian, the other strong safety in the 3-3-5 stack. Good awareness and good play rec, but not much else to work with. 79 zone coverage is okay, but he's a redshirt senior, and I'm going to be losing him. 85 speed and acceleration are okay, but block shedding is 75. He's good against the run. Tackling 74, solid tackler, but other than that, he's just there to hold down the spot until I can get better players there. Dallin Hayes not doing much. I'm playing him as a true freshman. Strength is only 74. Tackle is 82. Power move and finesse move are 80, and block shedding is only 70. So, he's kind of miscast there playing in a 3-3-5 stack defensive end. He should be playing as a 4-3 or 4-2-5 defensive end, but, again, You gotta work with what you gotta work with. And Cole Luke with 3 INTs coming alive lately. Good man coverage, good zone, good press. Doesn't catch too many INTs with that 65 catching, as you can see. Decent run support, 68 tackling, and 68 hit power. My other corners don't do much. The defense as a whole has been a sieve. On the recruiting front, we got another commitment. We got a commitment last week from Drew Allen, the number 2 tackle in the class. We get a commitment from number 15 overall corner, 4-star recruit Adam Burke. He comes in with 91 speed, 93 acceleration, man coverage 81, zone coverage 85, press 86, and he will likely play an awful lot as a true freshman. So he gets added to the fold, and then recruiting elsewhere, we're in the lead for 4-star athlete Joel Anderson, 3-star corner, a deceiving 3-star corner, or a deceptive 3-star corner rather, as he scattered out to a 79 overall with 90 man coverage, 88 zone coverage, 80 press, as well as 5-star athlete, number 5 overall athlete Jimmy Oliver, number 6 rated defensive tackle, 4-star recruit David Green, number 9 rated run block guard and 4-star recruit Brandon Davis. And this battle here for Daryl Mangum goes on. I have a 20-point lead over Michigan for Daryl Mangum, 5-star recruit and number 4 rated wide receiver, 6'3", 200 pounds. This guy has a shapings of a man beast. 90 speed, 94 acceleration, catching 79, 86 route running. The spec catch and catching traffic aren't that great. Route running is, and that we'll have to hope gets bumped up along the way, but I'd love to get him, if for no other reason than to keep him away from a rival and, deprive them of an asset. But yeah, he'd be very well welcomed. And we have other guys that are in the running here. Luke DeAngelis, number 1 overall OLB and 5-star recruit. We're only 400 behind. We're battling Alabama, of course, and LSU. Go figure. As well as our number 2 rated backer, 4-star recruit George Mitchell. We're battling A&M and Auburn. We've kind of made ground on 5-star recruit, number 1 overrated defensive end James Keller. Penn State and Texas are ahead of us, but we're closing in ground, and hopefully we can close that gap a little bit more. And 5-star athlete Stephen Bell, we're currently in 3rd, and 4-star number 1 overall strong safety, we got a whole heck of a lot of work to do to get him. So that's that for around the country right now. And episode 8 will be a big game against USC, and hopefully we can keep it rolling. Hope you guys enjoyed. Talk to you